In the last session, we just completed about the field discussion and we learned about how many types of fields are there and translate fields. Now coming to the record. Before discussing about the record in the application designer, if you open the database, there are three types of tables available. Three types of tables. System catalog tables, people tools tables, application data tables. These three types of tables are available: system catalog, people tools, and application data tables. Now, some tables are there in the PeopleSoft database. Those are system catalog tables. Those are starting with SYS syntax. PeopleSoft DBAs, Oracle DBAs will handle these tables. We are not the right persons. You can ignore it. People tools tables. Let's say you created one record in the application designer with GEE_EMP_TBL. If I'm trying to create one more record with the same naming convention, with the same name, what will happen? System will respond like, record name already exists. You would like to override it? Somewhere in the database, it is storing the record names. Otherwise, how it will know? Record name already exists in the database. Somewhere it is storing. Where? People tools table, that is one of the people tools table. Okay, let's query it. So let's start from PSREC definition. PSREC definition where rec name equal to our record name GEEEMPTBL. Yes, it is. It is showing the record name, information, field count. 6 fields are there, like that. We have not created this record. We have not loaded this data. If you're talking about the table data, you created this data, but you have not created this data. This data created by the system. This data created by the system. And observe one thing. Have you observed this table and this table? Both are PeopleSoft tables. But have you understood one difference? Have you found one difference? Underscore. PS underscore record name. PS record name. People tool table won't have any underscore. Not only for the record. Let's say for field, select star from PS DB field, which will display the field information. Whatever the fields are already there in the database, where field name equals to GEE employee ID, we created this field. Yes, we created this field. Record, field, page, component. For page, PS panel definition. For component, PS panel group definition. What is panel and panel group? Very earlier versions in the PeopleSoft side, they used to call page as a panel in the very early stages of PeopleSoft development. Panel group. Now we are calling it as panel as a page, panel group as component. but still in the backend they are using the same tables: panel, PS panel definition, panel group definition. Like that, that means by we are doing some operations. We are creating the records, we are creating the fields, we are creating pages, components. Based upon our act, these tables are loading the data. These tables are loading the data. First one thing, there is no option for us to update, insert, delete manually on these tables. It's not a good practice. The data will be changed based upon your actions. Now, the third, application data tables. Application data tables. Okay, let's see. The normal transaction tables. The normal tables created by user and PeopleSoft, like this. In these tables, you can load the data, you can update the data, you can delete the data, you can play with the data in the application data tables. What is the difference between application data table and people tools table? Simple difference. There is no PS underscore after the field name. Before the record name in the table name. PS underscore table name means it's an application data table. PS record name means it's a people tool table. Now, coming back to these are the types of tables. That's it. Now, coming back to the application designer. Whenever we are creating the application designer, we simply open the record and we drag and drop the fields, and we simply save the record by using a name. That's it. And we build it. First of all, this record has two tabs: record fields, record type. Record fields, record type. Have you observed here? 4 displays are there in the record. 2 tabs and 4 displays. Okay, we will talk about the displays later. First, what is the type of the record? 7 types of records are there. SQL table, underscore TBL, SQL view, underscore VW, dynamic view, underscore DVW, derived work record, underscore WRK, or derived underscore subrecord SBR, query view underscore QW, temporary table underscore TMP or underscore TAO. What are these? All 7 types of tables here. What is SQL table? What is this underscore TBL? It's a suggestion. Whenever you are creating a SQL table, please use the table name as underscore TBL. By looking at the table name, I can understood it's an SQL table. What is SQL table, Venkat? It will just store the data in the database. It will just store the data in the database. That's it. If you are getting any doubt, here, this is the SQL table, GEEMPTBL. Venkat, people tool table also available in the application designer? Yes, 100%. But if you are giving rec definition, it won't populate the table what we are looking for. PSREC definition. This is the table. Have you observed PSREC definition? Venkat, this is also SQL table. What is the difference? Have you observed? In our table, a non-standard SQL table name here given. That means it's not a standard SQL table defined from the PeopleSoft side. That is why if it's a standard SQL table defined from the PeopleSoft side, for each and every standard table should have PS underscore as a reference. But a non-standard SQL table name won't need any reference of PS underscore. That's why all people tools tables are non-standard SQL tables. That's why whatever the name they are giving here, the same name they are querying without using PS underscore. Now, whenever you are creating a SQL table, it's not mandatory, it's just a suggestion underscore TBL. By looking at the table name, I can understand. Next, view. View. What is view? Any one of you. What is the view in the database?
Look the data which you have inserted in, which you have created.
It's not created, right? Yes, you're right. Geeta?
Yeah, it's the view can have columns from different tables, and it's just for the
Absolutely, you're
viewing.
also right. That means a combination of one or more tables data, right? Okay. Let's do one thing. We will try to create a view. I'm having two tables in the database, personal data, and in the PeopleSoft side, I have two tables. Select star from PS, personal data. Okay. If you query it, it will display the personal data of all of the employees. Next, one more record, PS pers NID, which will display all the national identification information of the employees, NID information. But in this table, there is no NID. In this table, there is no name of the employee. Now I would like to club these two tables and display employee name and NID. Okay. Now, okay, prepare the query here, like select a dot employee ID, comma a dot name, comma b dot national ID from PS underscore personal underscore data a, comma PS underscore pers underscore NID b, where a dot employee ID equals to b dot employee ID. This is the query, simple query. Now, my query is about to generate three field informations: employee ID, national identification, name. As of now, what we did, we created all of the fields whatever we are using. Now we are going to insert the fields into the record. Employee ID, yes, it's a delivered field is there. Name, yes. Next. Okay, first run this query. Have we done any mistake? No, nothing. Okay, national ID not equal to blank. Better to use this. And b dot national ID not equals to space or blank. Okay, this is the query. Name we used. Next, national ID. These three we are using. Next, go to the record. Make sure you are creating an SQL view. Save it. Whenever you are saving the SQL view, what suggestion we given you? Underscore VW. GEE EMP employee NID view. We successfully created it, but where you convey the message like SQL. Whenever I choose an SQL view, here you see, click to open the SQL editor. Here you have to write your SQL. Whatever the SQL you prepared here you have to write the SQL, and you can check the SQL syntaxes also, like this. Save it. Whenever you are trying to build it, so far what we did, we used the create table, alter table. Now we are using create view, execute and build script. Observe one thing. Every time I am suggesting execute and build script. Why? If I choose in the first option, build script file, it will just generate the script file. But what is this? In which are all the scenarios we will use this? Yes, coming to the point. Let us say you are working in an environment which is a development environment. You have a full access to build the table from the app designer. But in the testing environments or UAT in the production, you don't have access. But you created a new record. You would like to migrate the new record to other environments. You're not the right person. If you're not the right person to do the migrations and building the records in the target environments, like UAT and production, then you have to provide a script to the DBA to create the file, to create the record. Then how can I create the script, Venkat? Simply by using this build script file, build it. Even you can check it in the backend. No SQL view build here. Select star from PS underscore GEE EMP NID view. There is no view. What you did, you simply build the script file. That's it. If you open it, it will shows you the script file. You can copy the script file and you can give it to your DBA. Please build the same in other environments. Generally, DBAs, what they will do, they will build the script file. They will run the script file in the database. That is why we will use this option. The second option is build SQL, execute SQL. That means if you click on build, execute SQL. That means it will just execute the SQL generated by this build. It won't generate any script file for your reference. It's not the best option. And the third option, execute and build the script. Execute the SQL and build the script file for my reference. That's the command. In the development environment, 100% you can use this. Now, build it. It was successfully built. Script file. Now, query it. It's generating the data. It's a view. It's generating the data. If I'm asking you a question now, this is the table which is generating the data. This is the table which is generating the data. What is the difference between SQL table and SQL view? Any one of you can answer the question. What's the difference between SQL table and SQL view?
In table, we'll just get a one field itself which you have created. And by this view, we are getting the complete data of the employee ID, name, and the national ID.
You are almost there, Subhash, but need some improvement in the answer. Geeta, any guess from your side?
The purpose of the view is sometimes we do not want users to see data in some tables. We just want them to see certain data from that table. So in that case, we create a
That's what
view.
I'm saying. In the what you're explaining, it's the definition of the view, right? It's the definition of the view. It's the functionality of the view. I'm asking,
Yeah.
what's the difference in between the SQL table and SQL view? That's my point.
I think in the view, I don't think if using view, you can make the changes to the data. I mean,
Absolutely, there you are. That means in SQL table, you can modify the data as ever, whatever you want, right? You can add, delete, update, insert, whatever the operation you can do it on the SQL table. But only except select any other operation we can't perform on the view. Subhash, got my point?
Yes, yes,
That means we can't insert the data in the view. We can't update the data in the view. We can't delete the data in the view. Why? Because it's not the data, it's not the physical data populated by you in the view. The data is populated with the help of a SQL. That's it. Whenever the source tables in the SQL got changed, the data will be changed. But one thing we have to keep in mind, both SQL table and SQL view, both are available in the database. SQL table naming convention underscore TBL, SQL view naming convention underscore VW. Now coming to the third, dynamic view. Dynamic view. Have you observed one thing? Whenever I selected SQL table, build option is there. SQL view, build option is there. Dynamic view, build option is disabled. It's a view, but it won't available in the database. It's available only in the application designer. It's available only in the application designer. That's it. The naming convention underscore DVW. Then Venkat, what is the purpose? Better write if we have a view in the database, we can check, okay, blah, 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 we can see the data. Then what is the help of dynamic view? We will use the dynamic view in the people code portions to populate the data dynamically based on some conditions. Not in the database side. Only in the online application we will use the dynamic view. We will use the dynamic view in our people code practice. If I forgot, please let me know. Not now. Next, fourth one, derived or work record. I'm not using the view concept here. Here I'm using the word record. Derived or work record. It is. What it is? Again, the build option is still disabled. That means this type of record also not available in the database. Derived or work record also not available in the database. Now, what we can do? What is the use of the derived record? Okay. Sorry. Now, observe carefully. Try to understand the scenario. Let us say, yeah. Whenever I am coming onto this page, observe carefully. Whenever I am coming onto this page, there is a button, add name. The button is add name. Effective date. Whenever I clicked on save, effective date will store in the effective date table. Format type will store in the format type table. Sorry, format type field, effective date will be stored in the effective date field in a record. What is this? It's a button. Whenever I clicked on this, it is executing some functionality. Simply here, test. Whenever I clicked on refresh name, it's just displaying the results. But whenever I clicked on the save, first name will store test, last name will store HGK. But what is this refresh name? It's just a button. In the back end, we are not storing anything behind the button. Am I right, both of you?
yes, sir.
It's just a button, right, Geeta?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Then to display the button, to display any property on the page, we need a recordant field. But my question is, we are not storing anything behind the refresh name push button. Then why should I use a SQL table and field on the page? Behind the push button, SQL table. Behind means simply if you open your page, double click on employee ID. Whenever I saved my page, employee ID field will update in the table employee table. Whenever I saved my page, gender field will update in the employee table. Like that, just imagine there is a push button. Why should I give a SQL table reference? It's not required, first point. Then those type of fields will be placed on the pages with the help of derived or work records. Derived or work records are the records, but they don't have any existence in the database. Why? Because those are not having any build option. 100% we will use it in our practice in coming 1 or 2 days. No need to worry about it. Just keep in mind, derived work record is used only for online transactions. They won't save in the database. Sub record, still the build option is disabled. Only first two, SQL table and SQL view, are having the build option. That's why we can see in the database. Sub record, it's not built. Sub record, the naming convention they're suggesting underscore SBR. Okay. Today you created one employee table. I'm asking Geeta, please add address details also. Then Geeta added address 1, address 2, city, state, and country in the employee table. All the fields she added and she altered the table. On the same page, you have department details also. Department details also on the same page you're displaying. Then I'm asking Subhash, please add the address for the department also. Subhash, now he is adding address 1, address 2, city, state, and country, all the fields in the department table. Yesterday, what Geeta did, today Subhash is repeating. Let us say tomorrow, location also displaying on the same page. Now today I am adding the location address. Exact location address I am adding. Address 1, address 2, city, state, and country. Here I am repeating. Here I am repeating the same steps what you both performed in the last 2 days. I am adding the same fields again. Geeta added the same fields to one record. Subhash added the same fields to some other record. I am adding the same fields to the third record. Now, why don't we create a sub record with all the fields? Yes, we can create. Then what is the purpose of sub record? Reusability. Yes, instead of adding individual fields into the record, first day Geeta will add the sub record in the record. Second day, Subhash add the same sub record into the record. Me also use the same. That is called reusability. Sub record is reusability. We can use it in number of places, number of scenarios. Now, nothing to worry. We will practice all the record types. Just keep in mind about the definitions. Query view underscore QVW. Whenever I selected the query view, build option is enabled. But one thing, in the SQL view, we have an SQL editor to enter the data, enter the query. But in the query view, there is no SQL editor available. You have to click the bottom button to launch the query tool. Query tool. Here you will add the query dynamically. Let us say here is the query. If you see the SQL, select star from the table name. This will be the query for this view. We are dynamically populating the query by selecting records and fields. That's it. But you can see very rarely you will observe these query views in your usage. But query view is available in the database. If anybody is asking in interviews what is the difference between SQL view and query view, both are existed in the database, but SQL view we have to enter the query manually. In the query view, we will use the PS query tool to generate the query. We can build it in the database. And the naming convention.
So when is one used over the other? When
90% of the queries are SQL views. Mostly delivered query views are there. Why? Because some tables are already there in the query tool. That's why we will use the query view. We will see the usage of the record types. Okay. Nothing much worry about. Last one is the temporary table. The name itself, it is saying temporary table, but it's not temporary. We can build it in the database. Venkat, it's a table. We can store the data, but PeopleSoft is suggesting the temporary table will be used only in application engine processing. Application engine processing, not in the regular development. Application engine processing, the temp table. We will see at that point of time. Now, the naming convention is _TMP they can use or _TA bar. All these are the 7 types of tables. The very, very basic question in interviews. What are the different types of records? If our Desi guys are doing the interviews, first question they will ask, what are the different types of records? 7 types of records. Oh. Now, what are the, which are all the types of records we can see in the database? First 2 and last 2, SQL table, SQL view, query view, and temporary table. Now, in the field level, we open the field properties and we can add our blah, 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 comment, something. In the record, also we have the same. Record options, record definition, we can enter the record definition, so and so. Record properties. Use tab is there, some additional properties are available for each and every record. Record properties. In the record level, record properties are there. Record field properties are also there. Record properties and record field properties. Record properties can be accessible via using this. Then where is the record field property? What is record field? 6 record fields are there. Now double click the record field. Each and every field. Yes, it has property. It has property. Double click it. All these are the record field properties. First we will discuss about these record field properties. Now, first one is key. What is key in the database? Any one of you? What is key? What is the property of key in the database? Subhash. Are you saying something? What is
Sorry,
the
Venkat, I cannot.
what is the purpose of key?
Normal purpose of key is to open. I think to modify this field, we can use this key. I think so.
Okay. Geeta?
So the main purpose of the key is for the uniqueness. You
Absolutely. To avoid duplicates. Right?
yeah.
We all three are working in an organization. We should have three different employees. We shouldn't have the same employee. Right? Then, as of now, whenever I'm trying to open my page, observe carefully, whenever we are trying to open our page, it's allowing me to directly enter into the component. Why? Because we have only one row of data. There is no uniqueness we created. Now, I decided in my table, my employee is key. Observe one thing, whenever I selected the employee, this search key property will be enabled. Earlier it's disabled. Now it is enabling. Venkat, what is search key? Here, if you observe one thing, in my job data, a lot of employees are there. Which employee data I would like to access? A lot of employees are there. Thousands, lakhs of employees are there in my database. Then, which employee you would like to access? Here I am giving the employee ID. Okay, on ABC, I have 5 employees are there, something like that. Then, in my component also, in future, they are having a chance to see number of employees. Then, why don't we build the same structure? The page which is used to search the employee data is called search key. Search page, it's populated because of the search key. Now, search key. Search key. Whenever I selected the search key, list box item is populating. Just click on OK, save it. We have to build it again. Why Venkat? We have not changed the structure of the record. No. We changed the structure of the record by selecting keys. Key is a database property. Key is a database property. That is why build it by using alter table, execute and build script. If you are using the create table again, if you in the settings also you selected recreate table if already exists, then your data will be gone. That's why better to say check alter tables. Build it. Now, if you try to open your page by using the same navigation, search page appearing in front of you. We have not designed the search page. Search page is a property. Search by employee ID begins with okay. Only one employee we have. Now I'm trying to add one more employee with the same employee ID. It won't allow me. Why? Because you built the property employee ID is a key. The value you tried to add already exists. Now, number 2. Okay, test 02 female. Save it. It's successfully saved. Now you go it. Search. You have 2 employees. Key is deciding your uniqueness. Search key is enabling the search options. List box item is displaying the results of the search. Here, key is defining the property of the database which won't allow you to enter the duplicates. Search key is enabling search. List box item is displaying the search results for us. Three properties. Venkat, I forgot the employee ID. Yes. Then you would like to search by name, but number of Venkats might be there in the organization, number of Geetas might be there in the organization. There is no uniqueness you found in the name. Then I don't want to make it as a key. If there is no key, search key, no available. Alternate search key. Observe carefully. Alternate search key. List box item is selecting. Alternate search key. Now, no need to build it. Why? Because we have not changed any property of the key. We just added a alternate search key. One second. Now, go ahead and try to display your page. Have you observed? Have you observed here? Two options. Two options. Employee ID begins with our name. Our name. If I'm giving the name, two results. Even though the same employee, okay, let us say third employee, I'm giving the same name, test 02, save it. Now, by using the name, here I'm giving test 02. Two results, but employee ID different. If I'm asking a question to both of you, we discussed about two properties, search key and alternate search key. What is the difference between a search key and alternate search key? What difference you observed?
So search key is used when the field has unique values, and alternate search key is used on fields which do not have unique values.
Okay. Almost you are there. Subhash? Okay. If you would like to make a field like search key, it's 100%, it's must and should be a key first. If there is no key, there is no option for search key. Alternate search key, no need to be a key. There is no mandatory, it should be a key. There is no key required for alternate search key. And search key results, unique values, alternate search key results, duplicates. Search key results, unique values, alternate search key results may duplicates.
One thing, it's a small silly question. If we go for this application once, so if the employee ID, where there is an employee ID, so is it compulsory that we can make that itself as a key and or
No,
we can make name as a key?
Depends on your choice. What are the keys you are going to maintain? Name is always not a key. Why? Why? Because Venkat K, Venkat P, Venkat S, number of Venkats will be there in the organization. Maybe on the same name, maybe with the same surname also, one more employee will be there in the organization, right? That's why generally you have to pick which is the unique property. Always employee ID, national ID, department ID, like this, unique value. In some table, employee ID is not a key field. Employee ID is not a key field.
Okay.
Yes, employee has number of rows in a table, which is not a key field. Employee is not a key field there. Let us say benefit table. Under the benefit plan, under the benefit plan, under the health plan, how many types of plans employee choosing, number of rows will be there. Got my point? Depends on
Yes.
the structure of the table, why you are creating the table, what is the purpose, what type of data you would like to store in the table. That's the main point here. Okay? Now, let us say I will show you one more functionality. Observe one more. Okay, let us say you are asking me a question, Venkat. Whenever I'm searching the data, it is displaying employee ID and name. I would like to display the joining date and the gender also. But I don't want to give the search option for two those. Then fine. Joining date, list box item. Gender, list box item. That's it. I don't want to make these two fields are search options. Now, search it. Joining date and gender also coming. List box item will just display the search results. That means we are preparing a box for the result. Search page enabled with the help of search key selection. Now, let us say, go to the delivered page. Whenever I am trying to add a new person, we have to go to this navigation, workforce administration, personal information, biographical, add a person. Whenever I am trying to add a person, observe carefully, we have not added any person, but whenever I am coming to the page, this field is defaulted to the current date, this field is defaulted to the English, this country is defaulted. Now, in my page, whenever I am trying to add a new employee, my joining date should be defaulted to the system date. Where we can do that? Where? In which field? Joining date. Double click on it. Default value. Here, percentage date. Percentage date is a system variable. It will pick the system date and it will display for us. Simply. Just save it. We are done. Now, try it one more time. Add a new value. It's displaying the system date. 29th. It's displaying. Venkat, can we display the gender as unknown also? 100%. Double click on the gender. It will display a drop down. Why? Because gender has pre-populated values. Unknown. It's a default value we designed. Here like this. Now save it. It's allowing me to save without adding the employee name. Venkat, without adding the employee name, the page is saving. Yes, it's saving. But my condition is employee name is mandatory. Without giving anything in the employee name, my page shouldn't store. Where should we do that? Name, double click it. Go to the edits. Required. Check it. That's it. Checkbox. Double click the field. You have two tabs in the record field properties, use and edits. Edit means validation. In the PeopleSoft terminology, I can use it as a validation. Yes, we are validating. The field is required field. Now, go ahead and check one transaction. Add one employee. Whenever I am trying to add an employee, observe carefully, there is one special symbol came for the name. It's a mandatory field, generally in our web pages also. Now I'm not giving anything in the name. I'm giving the comments. I'm giving the number. Now try to save it. Highlighted fields are required. It won't allow you to save. It won't allow you to save. Now save it. It's saved. We discussed about properties, key, search key, list box item, Alternate search key, default value, required checkbox. Go ahead and practice it today. I might give the session for today. Go ahead and